Hello, awakened ones, and welcome back. This is our deep meditation tips video. So please feel free to leave tips and tricks in the comment section to help others. Because one way isn't the only way to do something. There are over 7 billion of us on this planet, and my way wouldn't be the only way. And we need a variety of ways for people to be able to access their spiritual information. So please, 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 as we are a community, please leave tips, tricks, or any cultural related information that can help someone. I will be focusing in this video on deep meditation and ancestry work, because there are different things that you can do in deep meditation, like practice mindfulness, shadow work, higher self. I'm going to base this one solely on tips and tricks to contact and get information from your ancestors in deep meditation. So, I have two things I want to say. Firstly, thank you to everyone that has subscribed, commented, felt that they resonated with the videos. I appreciate all of the feedback. I appreciate the energy, and I will post another read later this week. I just needed to recover. I didn't expect the channel to grow this fast, and I'm not complaining. This is pure gratitude. So I just need a little time to reset myself. There's a lot of energies for me to hone in and pick up on now that I have, subscribers. So just allow me just a few days to ground myself so I can provide the most accurate reads possible. I really don't like rushing them because I get downloads every day, and I will share some downloads today, but I won't do a read. But first, let's get through these tips and tricks. So when we talk about deep meditation, we're actually talking about a form of transcendental meditation. It is a form of being in a trance-like state, typically guided though. And by guided, I mean, through the use of tribal music or visualization exercises. And you get into this, one of the deeper states of meditation where you're able to have a mystical, what some would call a mystical experience, where you're able to talk to your higher self or your ancestors and things like that. So the first thing I want to say is your setting. If you're working with your ancestors, two things. I would suggest that you go outside into nature, even if it's for a walk around your neighborhood. But you need to get outside so that nature can ground you and you can have some type of firm roots here in this realm before you start, moving about and experiencing other things in other realms. You need to get into nature, ground yourself, even if it's going out onto your front porch, sitting in the, just sitting outside, listening to the sounds, the birds. The second thing is I need you to then find somewhere safe. It doesn't necessarily have to be a quiet space, because there are ways to get around that, but it needs to be somewhere where you just feel safe. This way, when you're, in the process of trying to start the meditation session, your mind isn't being pulled, with trying to focus and then trying to be aware and worry about your surroundings. So I would definitely suggest a room in your house, or if you know a nice little nature spot outside where you feel safe, even if it's in your garden, you just need to feel safe in somewhere that's going to help you connect easier without becoming a distraction. So with that being said, I want to move on to the atmosphere in this setting. Even if you're outside, you can light incense, candles, especially if it's not a windy day. Though be mindful of nature. I don't want anybody starting any forest fires or anything like that. But yeah, candles and incense help set the mood, and they help you relax. They fill the atmosphere with an aroma that triggers the body to become more calm and relaxed. So candle scents like lavender for deep meditation are highly recommended. Like if you need to become more calm and relaxed. But if you're just wanting to jump right in and get things started, I would suggest frankincense. That is a ancient tool that our ancestors used during ceremonial practices, and more specifically when they needed to confer with their gods in their lineage. They would light frankincense as part of their meditative session. The next tip I would be to, if you're not a candle or incense person, I know some people have allergies, so they don't really like to smoke, being in their atmosphere. I would suggest tea, preferably lavender, like I said before, or chamomile, something relaxing. No sleepy time tea though, because naturally you'll fall asleep in deep meditation, because sometimes your body just comes to relax naturally and you'll fall asleep on your own. So do not drink sleepy time tea. I know it sounds like a good idea because it's going to make you more relaxed, but it'll make you too relaxed, and you're going to miss the whole point of this. And if you're not a tea person, I would suggest breath work. Now you can do that while you're outside, or like while you're sitting, preparing yourself for your meditation practice, just to ground yourself. And it also does help calm the mind and the body. So you can definitely do some breath work. And breath work is, counting in on a 3 and letting out on 3, like just that. And you can do that for about 5 minutes, and it will give you the same kind of high that you'll have from, smoking a little joint or something like that. It gives you this buzz because of the increase of oxygen that you're intaking. So when we're talking about breath work, we're talking about deep breath work, because you need your lungs to open up and expand so that you can get in as much oxygen as possible, so we can get it to your brain, so your brain can get that signal to relax and calm down. Another tip is very controversial, especially among older gurus, yogi people, folks from the 90s. Sacred herbs. It's controversial because you have some people that'll say, well, I spent 12 years and it took me at least 7 of those years to reach my higher self and do shadow work. So I'm going to be honest with you. We're ancient. I know who I am. And so these practices for me are just innately natural. They come natural to me. I read material, but not that much. A lot of information I just intuitively know, or I get from my ancestors and deities. Sacred herbs such as cannabis and sacred herbal blends, which are other herbs that are used in a combination to give you that, that little buzz that some of us like to have for meditation, because it helps us concentrate, especially if you're someone that has an attention or a focusing issue. Certain strands of cannabis can help you focus better so that you can achieve what you're trying to do. But yeah, I wouldn't feel bad or ashamed about this if you are using assistance to get to these states. Only because it's natural. It comes from the earth, and if you're an ancient one, you've done this before. All the ancient civilizations, we're talking about, in the Asian culture, Africa, Egypt, a lot of cultures use sacred herbs because they found how quickly they were able to connect. We don't need to be waiting 12 years to get information from our own lineage, when I can, take 2 puffs, ground myself, center myself, and I can, connect with with who I need to connect with. So that brings me to dosage and tolerance level. If you've been smoking for a while, and I mean heavy, every day, you need to take a tolerance break, because it just will counterproduct what you need to do. Your tolerance level is going to be a lot higher than someone that smokes occasionally, or like myself, that smokes for meditative reasons. So with that being said, a tolerance break would be good for individuals that are, they find themselves smoking all day long, every day. That wouldn't work in this situation for 2 reasons. 1, your tolerance is through the roof. 2, you wouldn't receive the same type of effects, because for this type of exercise, if you're going to be using sacred herbs, I don't suggest smoking a whole joint to yourself, or, smoking or getting to the point where you're too zooted to even fully experience what's going on and fully be present and mindful. When I say use sacred herbs, I mean to the point that you get a buzz. kind of like, maybe 2 to 3 puffs, and then putting it down. And you could finish it after your session, or you can even pick it up during your session, because sometimes I do that too. But you want to present it as an offering to your ancestors or to your deities, especially your ancient ones, because they recognize this herb, they know what it's used for, they know how to use it, they know the vibration of it, which is another reason why I said if you smoke too much, you might need to take a tolerance break, because you're vibrating now at the same level of this plant because you smoke it way too much. So you wouldn't get the same effects as someone, let's say, that's like, okay, I'm going to try this, and they take a few puffs and they don't really smoke. It's going to hit them like that. And that's all they really need to be able to relax and get into that groove. So that brings me to the next form of deep meditation. When people think of meditation, they think you need to sit still, you got to have perfect posture. Meditation is about connecting with yourself and what feels true to you. So in order for you to have the best meditative session, you need to be in the type of flow that's for you. So if you're a dancer and you like to move, then that's the type of meditation you need to do, like transic dancing and things like that can take you there, because certain meditative forms might not work for certain individuals. So if you're not a writer, poetry and channel, automatic writing might not be for you. You may like to dance, or you may like to paint, and those are still meditative things. Even playing an instrument, because a lot of times what people don't realize is when you are in your passion and in your element, your ancestors are more easily able to communicate with you, and it'll show through our work. It'll show through how we feel when we're playing an instrument or singing that song or reciting that poem or dancing. So with that being said, pick which one calls to you, and then use these same methods to get into the flow for that session. Which brings me to the playlist. So bringing me back to quiet space, we can get around that. You can use white noise. White noise has all the frequencies in it, so it helps drown out other distractive noises that may be in your background. Again, tribal and shamanic music with heavy drumming and chanting, but the chanting needs to be in a foreign language. It needs to be in a foreign language so that your rational brain does not get in the way by picking up on familiar phrases or keywords and starting to zone in on them. You need foreign language so your brain it allows the words to pass through because you don't recognize them, and it's easier for you to get in a trance-like state. So with that being said, this brings me to set your intention. What are you trying to do? Is it an answer you're looking for? Is it asking for guidance with your ancestors? Set the intention. And with set the intention, that also goes back to your setting. So if you're trying to work with your ancestors and you have a specific ancestor or pictures, bring their pictures into the session with you. It doesn't, even if you have an altar, you can meditate in front of your altar. That vibration there is unlike any other. They know you, they love you, they see the work that you've been putting in, not just on yourself, but on the altar, so that the communication will be a lot easier, and it'll just flow. Music too. It doesn't have to be shamanic drumming, but if that helps, it just helps get you to that deep meditative state. But if there's certain music that your family loves listening to, or even if it's just instrumental, I would suggest playing that too, because they will recognize the sound, and it makes it more personal. And don't set expectations. Just be in the moment, especially if you're new to this. Don't go in thinking, oh, I'm going to see all my ancestors, I'm going to talk to the ascended masters, blah, blah, blah. No, just be in the moment, show gratitude, and just go with the flow. So at this point, you want to close your eyes. Even if you're dancing, moving around, painting, writing, whatever you're doing, you want to close your eyes, focus on your breathing. Let thoughts flow through, and don't zone in on any specific thought or feeling. Just let them come and go. Let your third eye slowly reveal images to you, but don't rush the images. Let them form freely and let them guide you. Don't try to lead the images. Like, say, for instance, you start to see orange, but it has a little purple in it. Don't start honing in on the purple like, well, that is my favorite color. This is a sign. No, it doesn't work like that. Let the images come to you in form. And do this as long as you need to. Sessions can sometimes last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. It all depends. Some of us are naturally inclined to be able to hop into deep meditation. Like Andromeda starseeds, they're good at being able to hop directly into deep meditation without a lot of preparation. And they're also the ones that can access their Akashic records like that. Like they're very gifted with accessing their Akashics. And if you need any further assistance, like let's say you can't get, to this state on your own, there are plenty of channels out there and even Patreon pages that can help you by providing visual exercises that can help guide you to your higher self, to your Akashics, to your ancestors. But they'll mainly be able to guide you with visualizations of like the beach or like, helping you get your mind going. And the reason why I say you need to close your eyes is because you need to open your eye so that you can get the messages and see. So when the colors start coming to you, just let them come, because soon after that, you'll either start to see other things, other spiritual beings, or you'll start to see messages or get messages, because like I said, I did pick up on somebody being clairaudient. The next thing I want to go over is going to be really quick because, like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. The next informational video I'll put out will be around divination and the importance of divination, intuition work, and making your own divination tools. So like I said before earlier, if you have any other tips and tricks, please share. This is a community and I want us all to be able to help each other. But yeah, with that being said, I hope this was helpful.